Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Last Lap, where my friend Matthew and I give you guys all kinds of NASCAR news, recaps, previews, everything NASCAR related. So if you like NASCAR, you like racing, you found the right spot. If you do enjoy this video, make sure to hit the like button and then also subscribe if you're new. We really appreciate new subscribers. We appreciate all our subscribers, actually. We upload videos every Monday and Friday, and outside of YouTube, you can find us on Instagram and Twitter at The Last Lap News. We post some stuff on there throughout the week, and that'll be linked in the description down below. And now it's time to introduce my guy Matthew. How you doing today?
I'm just tired. It's been a long weekend for me since I was out of town for a little bit. Back home, actually.
Yep, so Matthew, he's at Liberty for, we probably already said that, but he drove home for the weekend and hung out, and now he's back. Was able to watch the whole Cup race today, which was a good thing. But now we're going to hop straight into the truck race, which was the first race of the weekend on Saturday. Saturday was a doubleheader, actually. The truck race was first, then the Xfinity race was after that. But going into the truck race, John Hunter Nemechek, right off the bat, won stages 1 and 2. Personally, I feel like Kyle Busch kind of let him win the stages because Kyle Busch was in the lead both times, and I think he kind of let John Hunter Nemechek go there. That's the whole 100% rule. Yeah, NASCAR, good job on enforcing that rule. But anyways, I mean,
Wow. I see.
Personally, I don't really like the rule, honestly. I mean, Kyle's not racing for points or anything, so he did the right thing. But I know people are going to be hating, like, oh, he didn't let him pass him, and where's the 100% rule, and all that
Anything
kind of stuff.
with Kyle Busch's name in it, they hate. Doesn't matter what it is. Just saying.
Yeah, but, I mean, I think he did let him pass him, but I don't think there should be any kind of... There won't be any penalty for it, but I don't think there should even be a discussion about this. But John Hunter Nemechek won stages 1 and 2, and then stage 3, Kyle Busch kind of let him have it, and took off and ended up getting the win for his 60th Truck Series win, which is remarkable. And I think it was his 6th win at Atlanta. And Austin Hill finished second. He kind of surprised me a little bit. Kyle Busch and John Hunter were kind of at the top of the field, and Austin Hill kind of came alive at the end and was able to finish second. So it would have been interesting if he was a little bit closer to the front to see if he could have gotten to Kyle, but Kyle Busch ends up winning the truck race, and that was Matthew's pick, so he gets a point, and now he's tied with me, for now at least. Matthew, do you have any quick thoughts about the truck race?
Well, I didn't see any of it because I was out of town, but I mean, it's always good to see Kyle win at any series. Doesn't matter what it is, especially right now since we're still not the best right now in terms of how our season's going. But I mean, nothing really much to celebrate about. It's a lower series win, so it's nothing too excited to get on. It just boosts up his confidence, which I think helped for this race today, which we'll talk about later. But yeah, nothing really much happened except KBM dominance today. I mean, that race on Saturday.
It just adds to his 200-plus win resume for all 3 series. That's all that win did on Saturday.
Yep.
But now we're going to transition into the Xfinity race, which I would argue was the best race of the weekend just because of everything that happened in the last 50 laps of that race. But we're going to hop straight in. Stage 1, there was a caution that came out with 5 to go in the stage or something, and that ended up setting up a 1-lap restart to finish the stage. And I'm pretty sure some people stayed out and some people pitted. And at Atlanta, if you drive 1 lap, you basically need to come and pit for tires. The track is so worn down, and tires mean everything at that racetrack, kind of similar to Homestead. But on the final lap of stage 1 with that restart, there was a wreck going into turn 3. It involved, let me make sure I get the names right. It involved Brandon Jones and Brett Moffitt were the main two that got together, and then it collected Noah Gragson. Austin Cindric ran into the back of the car and got some damage on his right front. and AJ Allmendinger, he missed the wreck completely, and then he came up and hit the wall somehow in the corner. Not really sure how or why he did that, but he was involved as well. Gragson, Allmendinger would continue. Brandon Jones would not. Oh, he would continue, but he was like 20 or 30 laps down. But after that, it was relatively calm in the second stage. Truex won stages 1 and 2. He looked like the pretty dominant car of the race, but with 50 to go, there was a single car spin which brought out a caution, and Martin Truex, the leader, got busted for speeding on pit road, and that pretty much put him way back in traffic. Almost cost him the chance to win, but we'll get to that at the end of how that played out. And then there was Jeb Burton. Sorry, Jeb Burton and Jeremy Clements got together on a restart, brought out another caution, and then with 32 to go, Josh Berry spun, brought out another caution. And one of the big stories, not really big stories, but AJ Allmendinger and Noah Gragson were both able to rally from that wreck, and Gragson had like a really fast car. I don't know how he did with how that car looked, but Noah Gragson looked really strong at the end of the race. I don't know how he was able to get back into the top 5, top 10 after the damage to that car. But Justin Allgaier, kind of the sleeper there, he was able to hold off Martin Truex Jr. and he took over when Truex was busted for speeding, and he had a really good car at the end. And I was really happy for Justin Allgaier since he runs for Junior Motorsports and runs Hendrick Motorsports equipment basically. So it was happy for him. I was happy. And then it was cool. They brought out a jersey, like a shirt type of jersey of one of their old crew members who unfortunately passed away over the winter. His nickname was Rowdy. Surprisingly, that's kind of funny how him and Kyle Busch have the same nickname. But anyways, they put the jersey on the car when he was doing his interview at the start-finish line, so I thought that was a really cool tribute. Justin Allgaier was pretty emotional in the interview and everything, so I thought it was cool for Justin Allgaier. Truex definitely had the best car, but at the end he kind of didn't have the best car at the end because he couldn't catch up to Allgaier there at the end. But Matthew, do you have any brief thoughts about the Xfinity race? I weren't really able to watch that one either.
I thought Truex was going to be the one to beat all day, like Kyle Busch was the trucks. But Truex blew it on pit road, and that basically ended his chances of winning. But congrats to Allgaier for winning. He's always been one of those veteran Xfinity regulars. I feel like should have had a championship in Xfinity by now, but unforeseen circumstances have plagued that team from winning a championship. But we'll see how he does this season, because Junior Motorsports did not have a good start at all this year, and that still has continued on right now. But Allgaier was able to help that out by winning this race yesterday.
I don't really think it's because Junior Motorsports had bad cars, because Noah Gragson's been in contention.
It just had bad luck.
Yeah, Noah Gragson's been in contention to win several races, but he's just had some bad luck. And even in Atlanta the other day, he had a really fast car and came back through the field. But that's not all that happened in the Xfinity race. There was an incident on pit road where basically Gragson was on pit road and he was coming in, and there was an incident with him and Daniel Hemrick, and that basically led to an incident after the race on pit road, which we'll show you guys in a second. But Matthew, can you see my screen? Are you good?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool. So we're just going to break down what happened on pit road here. So Noah Gragson's coming into pit, and he's in his pit box, but he's too far through his pit box. So if your nose is in front of the line, the pit box line, you have to back up and get inside of it. But the other problem was that his car was too far out to the right, and he had to back up. So he backed up and basically ran into Daniel Hemrick's nose and put some damage in it, and that led to a very, very not pleasant incident. after the race, Daniel Hemrick came over and he threw a few punches at Noah Gragson, and Gragson kind of returned the favor and threw a few punches back. I don't think any of them landed punches. Daniel Hemrick said that Gragson got hit in the eye, but I didn't see it. But anyways, I thought that was interesting. So after the race, everybody was questioning, like, should Gragson get penalized for this? Because he backed up and hit Daniel Hemrick's car and put his crew members in danger and all of that. Personally, I know Noah Gragson's had a history with getting into things with other drivers, but personally, I don't think he did this on purpose. I really do think he was trying to straighten his car out in the pits. But Matthew, what's your thought on that whole fiasco with Hemrick and Gragson on pit road?
Well, first of all, Noah Gragson looked like Shaq out there with those punches out there, missing all those. It was like Shaq out there when every time Shaq got in a fight, it seemed like. But in terms of the pit road thing itself, I believe that he wasn't doing that, intentionally, but you still gotta, be careful of the pit crews out there. It doesn't matter if you're pit crew or not. I mean, still gotta be careful because they're vulnerable out there, and there's cars are going whatever the speed limit is in there, and that's still, they can still hurt you if you get hit by a car. So you gotta be a little bit careful with that. I think he didn't really think about that, but I don't think he did that intentionally. As for the scuffle itself, I didn't blame Hemrick one bit to going after him. I would have done the same if that was me, because you're not gonna just back into my car and almost hit one of my crew members like that. We gotta get out of this car and we gotta start throwing these hands here. So, I don't blame Hemrick at all for that, but I don't think NASCAR didn't penalize them. I feel like that was the right call. I didn't feel like it was intentional or anything, but Noah Gragson just has to be careful there with his judgment sometimes. And the thing about my opinion about Noah Gragson is, I like the personality. I love that type of personality. I don't like these boring, bland guys that we have now. It seems like they don't even show emotion at all. But here's the thing, especially with him being such a young age, if you're going to be a polarizing figure, you gotta have the stats to back it up. I mean, look at Kyle Busch as the best example you could think of, or Dale Earnhardt as the best example. Big personalities, people don't like that, or people do like it. But they have the stats to back it up. All those wins and championships. And even Joe Logano, too. He's also a polarizing figure as well. But here's the thing with Noah Gragson, though. He had like 2 or 3 seasons in the Truck Series. He only won 2 races. This is like his 3rd or 4th season in the Xfinity Series, and he only has 2 wins. Frank, he should have gotten a 3rd win at Homestead this year, but that was just bad timing there. But you gotta have the stats to back it up if you're gonna plan on being this polarizing driver, because they're gonna just call you trash all day long until you start winning more races and being a championship contender the whole season. And Noah Gragson so far this season has not a good start at all. So he needs to pick it up the pace a little bit if he wants to be like one of the top 3 drivers in Xfinity right now.
Yeah, you should add another win to that category at Texas last year when he basically gave that one away on the last one. But
oh yeah, that one too.
But yeah, I don't know how I feel about Noah Gragson. I like his passion for it. And obviously I kind of like him because he's a junior car, and that's related to Hendrick and all of that. But now we're going to transition into the Cup race, which took place today on Sunday. And once again, Chase Elliott had to start the back for 2 weeks in a row. Unfortunately, failed inspection twice.
They're always doing something, those cars.
Yeah, I know. Tell me about it. And Elliott, he did it at Phoenix in the championship race too. So he did it at Phoenix in the championship race, and then Phoenix last week, and then Atlanta this week. I don't know what the heck they're doing. So Chase had to start in the back. Worked his way up pretty nicely by the time the competition caution came around lap 25. I think he was like 15th or 17th or something like that. I don't remember. And then, of course, everybody pitted because tires mean everything at Atlanta. Kyle Larson. Oh, sorry. Before that, under that caution for the competition caution, Kevin Harvick, they were coming to the green flag lap, about to restart, and Kevin Harvick had to pit for a flat tire, which is interesting because everybody just pitted and got 4 tires. So Harvick had to come down pit road and pit. I don't know how he didn't lose a lap, honestly, because he pitted, took left side tires, I would assume, and got back out on the track ahead of Kyle Larson, who is the leader, and was able to hold him off for the entire stage, I'm pretty sure. And Kyle Larson ended up taking stage 1. And then on the restart after stage 1, Kurt Busch got hit in the back going into turn 1 by Denny Hamlin and sent him directly to the right, nose first into the wall. Unfortunately, ended his day pretty early. That's pretty much the only wreck we saw all day. There was another caution for an incident, quote unquote, but we'll get to that in a little bit. Stage 2, Kyle Larson took that as well. It's funny because that's all 3 races. The first 2 stages were won by the same person, and then we'll see what happens at the end. We'll review what happened at the end of the Cup race. But anyway, so with 100 laps to go, Chase Elliott unfortunately blew an engine. Just not his day, unfortunately. He got a little bit of damage on that incident with Kurt Busch and Denny Hamlin. He ran into the back of Kyle Busch a tiny bit and messed up the nose just a little bit, and that seemed to really affect his car. And then the engine blowing up was just the finishing touch on his day, unfortunately. But after that, the caution came out and it was green the rest of the way. There were green flag pit stops. I'm pretty sure they split the stage just about in half. So it's about a 45 to 50 lap run to the end. Kyle Larson was still in the lead. He was my sleeper pick, and he wasn't really looking like my sleeper pick all day because he won both stages and I think had the best car almost all day. But Ryan Blaney was up there with him for most of that final stage, and after that pit stop, his car just came alive, and he kept eating at Kyle Larson's lead, and Larson said that he had to use his tires up to try and take his line away and all of that, but Ryan Blaney was able to make the pass with like 7 or 8 laps to go and cruise right on by him and take the win. It sucked because so Blaney took the lead, but Logano, Blaney's teammate, was in front of him trying to take away Larson's line and all of that stuff and whatever. And then as soon as Blaney passed him, Logano moved up out of the way and he's like, "Oh, you guys can go by now." But I mean, his teammates, and that's what teammates would do. I know any teammates would do that. But and then after that, Larson was still sandwiched in between Larson was still sandwiched between Logano and Brad Keselowski. So I thought that was kind of funny at the end. But Ryan Blaney was able to steal one there at the end and take the win. So Matthew, what are your thoughts on the entire race and then Blaney getting the win?
Well, it was just mainly all of Kyle Larson dominating that race until the last 10 laps, when all of a sudden, I guess it was just his tires that gave away basically, and I guess Blaney had a little better tires on him. But I mean, talking about a heartbreaker for Larson, I wouldn't call it a choke because I think Blaney just had better tires on his car. I think Larson burned all his tires up and he just wasn't the same as he was. I think Blaney needs like a nickname or something for like being all clutch, because it seems like all of his wins are always either on the final lap or the last 10 laps. Like, he's always there when it matters most.
They actually said, they said during the broadcast that they said before, like while the broadcast was running, they said all of his wins came inside the last 10 laps, and then that happened, so that just lived up to the hype even more.
I'm interested though to see if Blaney can have more wins though. He's been having these 1-win seasons. It's time for him to have a breakout year. So we'll see how Blaney does this season. I think this win helps since it's early in the year for that. Some noticeable top 10s out of that. Chris Buescher finished in the top 10. We all know the news about LeBron James being technically a part owner of Roush Fenway now. So I think LeBron James probably put some money in that car because that car was pretty good today. Both of their cars in top 10 most of the time. So that's good for them. Another car that didn't finish in top 10 but I looked really good today was Daniel Suarez. I mean, he was in the top 10 like most of the second half, even sixth place, but he got a speeding penalty, unfortunately. That kind of ruined that great run that he had, but it looked pretty good considering a brand new team already having speed like that in the top 10. But yeah, other than that, just a typical Atlanta race. Not much going on. One person dominating, but that guy didn't win. And there's no such thing as strategy at that racetrack because one lap of your tires is automatically the worst tire you could have on. So I still think they need to repave that racetrack. But I think it'll be some better racing if they actually repave the racetrack. But it's just another Atlanta race from what I saw today.
It's weird how Atlanta races always come down to the last like 10 or 15 laps because
I thought it was going to be one of those fantastic Atlanta finishes for a second.
yeah, Atlanta somehow is known for crazy finishes at the end. Even in the past few years, like Kevin Harvick led a bunch of laps a few years ago, and Brad Keselowski passed him late to go on and win the race. And I don't know, it's weird. That's almost kind of why I don't want them to repave it, but at the same time, repaving it might lead to even better finishes. So, but anyways, now back to my point about the drivers winning the stages. In all three races, the driver won the first two stages and didn't win the race. I just find that hilarious. John Hunter Nemechek won stage 1 and 2. Kyle Busch won the race. Truex won stage 1 and 2 in Xfinity. And then Allgaier won the race. And then Larson won stage 1 and 2. And then Blaney won the race. So I thought that was kind of funny how all that played out. But now we're going to transition into rating the race. We're going to rate the Cup race. Personally, I think the Xfinity race was the best one out of all of them, just because of all the drama in the last 50 laps.
Seems like most of the time is always the best race.
Yeah, I don't know what it is with the Xfinity series, but they've been putting on a pretty good show the past few weeks.
Probably because they have more horsepower in those cars.
That is true.
Take notes, Cup Series.
So we're going to go ahead and rate the Cup race. I'll go first, I suppose. Personally, it was a good race overall, but there wasn't that much excitement going on. The last 10 laps definitely improved my rating for this race because if Larson was going to run away with it, I probably would have given the race like a 3 or something out of 10. But because of the final few laps making it kind of interesting, I mean, they didn't really fight that hard for the lead. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10. I'm going to give this Atlanta race a 4 out of 10. It's a typical Atlanta race, but typical Atlanta races aren't that good. So I'm going to give the Cup race a 4 out of 10. Matthew, what are you going to give it?
I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10 because that last few laps made it up for that seemingly kind of forgettable race, to be honest. It was just mostly Kyle Larson being like 8 seconds up front most of the race until those last 10 laps. But I still think they need to repave that racetrack. It's getting near time. It's getting time to just go ahead and do that. I think it'll be a much better race than they did. Just don't change the configuration like they did with Texas. We all know what happened to that track. That track went absolutely downward spiral just from that. So Atlanta, don't do that. Just repave the track. That's all you have to do.
Yeah, don't put any PJ1 on the track either. Goodness gracious. I still can't get
AKA Phoenix last week.
I don't know why they did that at Phoenix. But anyways, now we're going to quickly transition into our fantasy, I guess you could call it, points or whatever. So Matthew got a point for picking Kyle Busch in the truck race, and that's it. We didn't get anything for the Xfinity race or for the Cup race. Neither of us thought Blaney would be up there. I was considering Blaney as a sleeper almost, but oh well. It would have been nice if Larson would have won because that was my quote-unquote sleeper pick. But, I mean, after that race today, it didn't really seem like Larson was a sleeper because he dominated the whole race. But anyways, so I have 1 point now, and now Matthew has 1 point. And then next week is going to be crazy because the truck and the Cup
The most
Series,
unpredictable race of the year.
the most unpredictable race of the year. The Cup Series and Truck Series are going to be heading to Bristol to be at the dirt race at the Bristol Motor Speedway. So that's going to be intense. As far as predictions go, I don't think either of us really know who to predict because anybody could win that race. There were drivers like Chase Elliott, Kyle Busch, Austin Dillon, all of them that ran in the feature rate or like the late model races or whatever this week. And Austin Dillon actually won his late model race or whatever. But yeah, a bunch of drivers are getting experience in that and trucks and all of that. And you have your normal dirt racers like Kyle Larson, Christopher Bell, Chase Briscoe even I think runs dirt a little bit. But yeah, we have no idea what's going to happen next week. So that's going to be super, super exciting. You guys definitely don't want to miss our predictions video heading into that because I don't think we know who's going to win.
And I will be there for the truck race this coming weekend, so I'll be getting some good footage out of that.
Yeah, we are definitely looking forward to getting some footage to throw into that video for you guys. It'll come out next Monday. Yeah, because that'll be our review for Bristol Dirt. But anyways, that's going to wrap it up for this episode, guys. We really do hope you enjoyed it. Let us know how you feel about the Atlanta races down in the comments down below. Make sure you subscribe because we upload videos every Monday and Friday, as previously mentioned. And then we're also on Instagram and Twitter. And all that will be linked in the description down below, like I said. But that's all for this episode, guys. And we'll see you guys in the next one.